CFO Oysters are just absolutely insane. Like, able to play on size, they can play the macro well, they can play the team fights well. It makes them so formidable of an opponent to go up against.
When they have hands as well, like JunJia and HongQ, especially in the midst of that, when you have a team that can play macro and has really good hands, like, those are the fears. Those are like the top tiers, like T1s, the Gen Gs, you know, the peak BLGs. I think that's crazy. OC win those. Yeah, damn straight. Good side. Kiana's going to be the last ban, by the way. We are taking away the Azir this time around, Dagda, so a bit of a change. Does CFO have first pick? What do you reckon? Ryze this tournament, hey?
So still going to see the Ryze, yeah, with the Orianna and the Azir gone. Seems to be the premier mid laner. And then the question is, do you still go back towards the Jarvan? Do you prefer the Wukong? Though Wukong did get nerfed just a little bit, but still, I think incredibly strong, even as we saw yesterday in the IG T1 series. It looks like it's going to be Taliyah, as this has kind of been the go-to for Fnatic in a lot of situations. It's, hey, we want Poby on something that can have access to the map. It's been the Galio, it's been things like the Taliyah, the Ryze himself as well. And Fnatic have consistently gone for this combination of the Vi and the Kai'Sa for upset to try and set up these fights incredibly easy for the Fnatic side.
Not his best champion this year for Razork, but I digress. Still something that can press the button. A good synergistic 2v2 Dagda is another good champion right now. Is that Zhao? We've seen plenty of pairings with it as well as a good duelist. Maybe support here. Where do we go?
I think matching. Oh, actually, I was going to say if you want to take the Sion is not bad at all.
All right.
So yeah, setting up for a very strong team fighting composition at the moment. And I love, again, you've got this very strong mid jungle with the Ryze and the Zhao, the easy lockdown of the point and click Ryze to set up them for the Zhao with the Wind Becomes Lightning. And I think that's where now you're going to have a lot of focus on towards Poby. Can he try and survive this early stage, or can he get help from Razork to help him transition into this mid to late game where they can try and play through sides? But I think Kai'Sa going to be the last pick here for Fnatic, because that's what they've traditionally gone for. But actually, with the Kai'Sa gone, it's going to be the Ezreal.
Yeah, Ezreal looks like the best option here. You talked about all the skirmishing power as well. For upset, one of his good champs as well. Sivir taken away. Now we know that's going to be the prior. Another AD carry ban, maybe the Xayah as well. Dagda, when we see Fi on Fnatic's side, that seems like the go-to and the obvious one.
Yeah, I think it's things that can enable kind of the frontline speed up. Obviously, the Sivir's going to be great taken away, but also things that can contest on towards the mid wave, where you've got, like, Ezreal not very good at being able to, say, take away from things like the Xayah or the Sivir, as you were alluding to. So I do agree, taking away something like the Xayah so you can have a bit of an easier time on contesting mid wave means that this opportunity to play sides with Poby becomes significantly easier.
Because it does feel like Fnatic as well want a fast game, and if there's going to be a front-to-back scaling AD carry for CFO, we know where their eggs are buried, right? Like, Ezreal, Taliyah, the best at taking away a Sion's health in the later parts of this game. So as Corki goes as well, that's a bit of mobility and addition taken away, but that Xayah is still open for CFO.
I'm curious though if they banned the Gwen, because that was what Oscarinin had a really good showing on in playoffs, and something that can do very well into that Sion, opening up that opportunity for Oscarinin to be a bit of a carry. Rek'Sai also something we've seen him go towards, and actually going to be banned away there by CFO.
But is the Gwen going to be enough? We've seen one in the audience. Will we see one in the game today? For Oscarinin. Man, seeing him on Gwen as well makes me nervous, because I know, like, Oscar as well, if he's having a bad day, like, that is a champion that can fall into the dirt and can never pull its legs out. So top lane match here, counterpick support. That's what we're thinking right now.
Yeah, I think you go with the... Oh, actually going to take the Sion. So an old counter pick that we've got to see a little bit in the LEC, but honestly, I think you can go for the Gwen. You've got good setup with the Vi to just get your needlework to follow through, but it's going to be the Ksante instead. Another pick that he's been very, very strong on. And in this position, if I'm CFO, I go for the Xayah because self-peel from the Vi, good matchup, good wave clear, kind of fits all the things that you want to. And then you can go for the Rakan, if you want to follow up off the back of that.
I feel like Doggo as well is a good scaling AD carry. I mean, if they're confident in the 2v2, maybe they just try and match, and I mean, we're going to have some lane swaps anyway, right? Ksante's good for that. Powerful 2v2 for Doggo. When I knew him in the LPL, when this guy filled the shoes of Uzi, waiting for him to come back into the league, Doggo was a great hyper-scaling AD carry. Lane dominant with the Neeko here is a big task when you're going up against Upset and Mikyx, because in their prime, they are a very strong 2v2, playing what looks to be the weak side of the map, or at least a map that is just trying to match the range.
And if JunJia's done his homework, he knows that Fnatic are going to be playing around this bottom side of the map. So trying to have this strong duo on the bottom side that JunJia can enable, and trying to deter Razork from getting involved is really where it's at, especially with Mikyx taking the Nautilus. This is we want to try and fight on this bottom side. We want strong engage. We want that point and click CC. So it feels like both sides setting up to have that focus on the bottom lane.
I think Mikyx, although he can end on picks like this with hard engage, the Alistar, the Naunt, he also has some of his best moments on it as well. While we asked what form is Oscarinin coming into today, the reason that Fnatic is so turbulent is because we asked the same of Mikyx. We asked the same of Razork coming into the day as well. This team beat KC, but outside of that, they didn't put up much of a fight against MKOI. Like, they are the 3rd seed for a reason. They clearly couldn't get up to that upper echelon. But against CFO, the 1st seed of the LCP, we've already seen the damage that's just come through from Team Secret Wales. This team destroyed them in the finals, maybe bar a game. CFO are the best the region has to offer, and it's not even close. And this is the most impressive team I have seen out of the region since we've seen the dominance of Flash Wolves in the past in the LMS.
It is a very, very tough opponent to come up against. And honestly, I think it's incredible to see that CFO have risen into that position, right? Like, they hold that legacy in the region of teams like Flash Wolves and that. But LCP as a whole, having them just constantly at the top has been an insane run for them as you get the MKOI fans.
One game! Change the shirt!
Fair play for making it out, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's coming up next, so he's obviously getting ready to cheer another EU team. But let's see the debut of the LEC versus the 1st seed joining into the fray. You've got some seafood versus some crazy people. Let's see who wins it out. As Driver and Kaiwing sit in the bot lane, they're obviously anticipating the lane swap here, Dagda. As we know with that Caitlyn Neeko, they want the 2v2.
Yeah, but the reset already coming through. So now the Sion immediately goes to the top lane. Caitlyn going to reset as well. But Fnatic hiding in the brush here. They should be able to get control over the red buff. But now the real question is, in this fog of war, who is resetting on the side of Fnatic?
Vision, given over. Okay, they have full info.
And it's going to be the Ksante on the reset. So at least at the moment, it looks like Fnatic should be able to get the lanes that I think they want. But honestly, against the, as we were saying, I think even though it is against Caitlyn and Neeko, Fnatic looking to get aggressive on this bottom side with this Nautilus pick and trying to find those kills rather than just letting the Neeko and the Caitlyn shove waves fast and take out the turret plating.
You guys might be worried, but Dredgeline's going to be used for Mikyx to get back into the wave in time. So standard 2v2, and that ward really nice from CFO to get that full information. Obviously, they know, as you said, Doggo and Kaiwing are down here. They'll clear the ward after a Mystic Shot connects, but we're just going to see how much upset's going to land, because eventually this is going to become unbearable, depending on how Doggo and Kaiwing land those skill shots. It's
really unfortunate, actually, that Fnatic lost both of those wards, because Kaiwing still had the sweeper going. This is where, again, you want that ward to prevent Kaiwing from being able to play into the bush, but hook. But again, still, you're going to see that CFO can hit the auto attacks, get the poke down, hide in the bush now with all this vision cleared down, and it makes it difficult for Fnatic to really get aggressive. And that ward now going to prevent Mikyx from stepping up into the bush.
Oi. But every time Dredgeline misses, auto attacks plus a little bit of starburst coming from the Q of Neeko. So Kaiwing gets good value here as well. One of the most oppressive co-laners as well, I think, in the current meta that's been around for like the last 6 to 12 months, Dagda, or even more. With annoying voice lines, like, and annoying abilities. Let's be honest, I think we all hate Neeko in some passion, in some kind of degree. Driver's just going to get the push in top. Dredgeline really nice here. Ignite goes down as well. Trap avoided. Mikyx takes a big chunk. And even that Warden's Mail, or that Warden's Wrath, excuse me, doesn't really negate too much. Doggo just pushes through.
Yeah, this wave should get the bounce, though, for CFO, which will make it a little bit more difficult for Razork to try and get in onto this bottom side of the map. And you can even see it's a good clear from JunJia, matching that jungle popping from the Fnatic jungler. The CFO, I think, in a really good spot. I don't really believe there's any way Fnatic can make the plays, especially with Mikyx this low.
No, I mean, again, we talked about it. Like, Fnatic's game plan has been bot. You talked about it, Razork. Where does he love? He loves bot. Where does he pitch tent? He pitches a bot. Where's the rental price? Like, no one charges him rent. And we're going to see if CFO can actually finally put the notice up. Oscar's okay.
It's also going to be difficult for Razork to try and contest this grab, as JunJia already moving into position for it. But I think JunJia's just here to cover. Doesn't really want much else.
Sees that Scuttle is untouched. A ward placed down. A good defensive ward in the try, and Razork just backs away. He goes, no, I'm not going to fight here. One of the best duelists in the game, especially with that bot lane. And Scuttle is just free for CFO.
And this is exactly what CFO want. All that JunJia has to do is make sure that the bot lane can play their game. As long as they can keep pushing, get plates, they're going to be more than happy. You're not going to get real value here. And JunJia actually still sticking around. Looks like a potential dive. Kaiwing, again, could transform into a minion and end up tanking this tower.
True. That still exists. True. Very, very true. Driver, in the meanwhile, I love our observers. They're still going top because even though you wouldn't expect it in tank v tank, I mean, Driver's doing really well in the matchup. When he weaves those grasps in with Decimating Smash, that's when it gets quite potent. Good ward place as well. This dive, it has begun. Upset, though, not hit with the core of the damage stretch line defensively. The redive might come out, but Kaiwing's low, JunJia's low. Not often do you see them fail dives. They're normally a lot cleaner than that.
Well, Mikyx did a really good job there. Flashed onto Kaiwing to actually disrupt being changed into a minion, so Kaiwing ended up tanking the tower in Neeko form, so he is to back out. The increased tower shot damage then goes on to the Zings out. He is to back out for top lane.
Oscar, what? Driver just explodes for first blood.
It has not been looking good for Oscarinin in the top side. Manages to take a ton of damage in the early stages, and now a solo kill on so much of this CS. Going to go to the tower. Will be able to TP back in, but still, look at that CS difference in that top lane.
He had the full damage of the shield because if Sion's untouched, I mean, the damage is maximized. Nothing whittled down by Oscarinin and Dagda. That is gigantic. I could see it coming, but I just didn't see how it was coming.
Still, I mean, CFO doing everything they need to right now. Even though they don't get the dive on the bottom side, upset still behind in CS because they have to try and outplay in the moment. Now JunJia getting a nice little invade here. Razork going to see if he can get the smite.
Razork is a level up. Rune Prison starts us off. Smite comes down. JunJia's behind. Seismic Shove, though, connects. The Tangle Barbs won't matter because JunJia is in so much more trouble. Razork, the damage is beautiful as he flashes away the kill, and the deed is done. HongQ now in trouble himself. He gets phase rush. He runs out. Wants to re-engage with Driver now jumping in, but he doesn't have an ulti. A Seismic Shove yet again. Poby, 2 for 2 in the play, and Fnatic now on the board as well.
Fnatic doing a nice job of turning that around. The invade with Driver could have worked out, but Poby with a nice flick back ends up setting up that play. Now Oscarinin trying to prevent Sion from getting to the wall.
He's got an all out. He's got true damage. Driver has to flash away, and Oscar gets a bit of revenge for the previous play.
I was hoping, even though he wouldn't get the kill, that he could just deny Driver all the CS on the top side and try and prevent him hitting level 6 himself. But Mikyx,
Seismic Shove doesn't connect this time. HongQ steps into it. Beautifully done from the CFO mid laner, as both Mikyx and Poby will fail to land.
yeah, I mean, really nice job. There's been so much action in and around this mid lane, and I think it makes a lot of sense, right? Like, we talked about how this team has been setting up Poby for success with him coming into the roster and trying to bring it through, but HongQ has been absolutely fantastic for this squad.
He's gnarly.
He's been absolutely insane. He's won Finals MVP, Rookie of the Year, Player of the Year. This man has taken every achievement and more, and he's more than deserved.
And I mean, I remember when Maple was talked about in the league, I feel like this is bigger. I feel like this is bigger than that. People calling him baby faker, you know, because Caps is already baby faker, but like, this guy is a prodigy at such a young age. Who knows the kind of damage he'll do at this international, let alone the ones to come.
And especially when in finals, he's going up against the likes of Maples that are heroes in the region and able to take them down almost handily, to be honest. It says a lot about what HongQ has to bring to the table, and the fact that Poby now has to try and control him here and stop CFO from taking over this game is going to be a handful, but I think that's why we're seeing that focus from Fnatic shift from what has traditionally been a bot lane focused team to the mid wave, and now HongQ actually using that realm warp to the top side. Looks like they want to go for a bit of a swap and get HongQ into a side lane. Also,
mid wave's going to get hard push. Maybe the Taliyah wall from Poby to get towards mid lane as well. It might be the option here as the mid wave's fully pushed. Razork also was deep in an invade while this happened, but he hasn't been spotted on vision. I believe we did see a ping coming down as mid wave denied. That's a cannon wave. It's actually okay. Razork is level 6 now, by the way. Just a quick side note as he picks up the camp, he backs away, and Upset is going to be able to pick up all this CS and
they're considering the dive on top side. Driver could ult top here to help HongQ. He has no flash. Or sorry, has his flash available.
Yeah, Poby is going to surf it up though, and he's okay. And no flash committed. Razork comes in. As you said, cease and desist, the flick back. Still not enough damage. HongQ thinking about it, gets phase rush, walks it out. The resilience of this man not to press the D button was big.
But it does mean Fnatic have control here, and the interrupt on the reset has to flash away. But that's going to be the pressure on top side and the boy grubs.
Wait, Seismic Shove comes already, flashes away, Poby at max range! He stares JunJia in the face and says, now what, bro?
The plays around Fnatic's Poby are picking up pace here as Mikyx now doesn't actually get away. Driver doesn't really have the damage, I think, to chase
But he
him down.
just ulted Mikyx, waiting for a stretch line to come through. Mikyx has the flash stretch lines, Riptide's out. It was also that Razork could get a grub. 2 now available here for CFO. A lot committed off the back of the play, but no objective after this.
This thing is, though, you get the plates on top side, massive wave lost top. Oscarinin's pushing in the bot side, another big wave, and a tower plate going across, plus the kill. Even though CFO are pushing them off the Void Grubs, it's a win for Fnatic.
Watch the replay in action here, because Poby steps up to the wave after they see HongQ flash.
Yeah, I think at this stage, HongQ just needed to give up on the play, but thought they could play with JunJia. But Poby and these flicks have been perfect. And again, the fact that he ends up getting the stone toss through first means he's set up, and you can see there, Fnatic squad looking happy.
Yeah, it is not a bad start. As you said, you know, Poby's been involved in both plays, and so has Razork. And with this duo, that is good to see, considering that mid jungle is so important with a Taliyah in the early to mid stages of the game when you want to use that pressure around the map and around these early objectives. Really fun to picks.
Also, one of the biggest talking points for Fnatic has been the lack of including Poby in these early plays and getting him around the map. And now there's a heavy focus on actually playing towards him, and it's working out well.
In summer, they improved on that. This feels like an even better step in the right direction. Like Poby was kind of played around a little bit more. As you know what, in this early game, Dagda, we talked about it a bit earlier on. Doggo in his lane, he got a bit of a CS lead, but this Caitlyn hasn't really skyrocketed out. I think there was a bit of plating taken, but as we're getting 4 minutes away from that ending, he sits around mid for now. It's not the best Caitlyn start to the game. I know it's 500 gold up, but like, could be worse.
Still though, like CFO are doing good things, right? Because you've got the early dragon for themselves. They do have a lead for Doggo that they can look to play through, even using the barrier there to prevent his reset from being interrupted. And now he can start to put pressure on towards other lanes. Like you can see, turret plates are gone, and oh, hang on.
All out's going to come through. True damage is nice. Driver running for his life. There was a solo kill before, but now there's help from JunJia. Oscarinin slowed down. Flip comes out. He dashes away, and there's a bit of space created, but with a decimating smash, Oscar's gone too far. The shield out. No, never mind. It's Ksante, and Oscarinin manages to save the day.
And that's the flash down on JunJia now, which for if you have a dragon fight upcoming, or even those next Rift Trial, but hang on, here we go.
Rumlock does calm out. Poby sets out the rocks in place. Pop Blossom as well. Turret aggro not there, and the damage isn't either. It's a Ryze. Razork also shows his face. True Shot Barrage flies near, and Driver also TPs in.
This is what I was going to say. CFO, even though they aren't leading in the gold lead, they are still a team that is very good at keeping this pressure up, even if they don't have that tempo advantage, and making plays on both sides of the map, managing to not really get much there, but at least you're burning like a flash on towards the Ksante and keeping this bottom lane turret in check and not letting Poby continue to get more gold.
Poby's sitting at a lost chapter for now. More gold would equal that first item a little bit earlier as well. As gold is dead even. Dragon's up in 45 seconds. First one went to CFO, and this upset just kites away from Kaiwing's pressure. As Mikyx found at the same time. I just feel like the second dragon would be a really nice start for CFO, again, to keep leveraging their pressure we're talking about.
Yeah, and I think that's where it is going to be difficult for Fnatic, as Kaiwing looking for upset. But
upset knows.
He's counted.
A little bit obvious, yeah.
But here's the thing, right? Like, you have Doggo who's controlling this push on mid really effectively, and starting to get some chip damage on the turret. They can also use that pressure to go for Dragon. This Sion is huge. This Sion is already becoming a bit of a problem, and you talked about it in Champ Select. You don't really have anyone that can kill his Poby.
Oh my god, a melee range Poby! Driver does it again. Both his kills are now solo bolos.
Point in case, Driver is a problem, and he's driving it home as he manages to pick up the kill on the bottom side. Right as Dragon spawns, you don't have Poby available. CFO want to look for a play. Pop Blossom nearly available for Kaiwing.
Mikyx spotted out on the path down to Dragon. CFO started this for good reason, but Driver at half HP with no ulti. Fnatic think they have an angle, but upset. He is low on mana. Take that node as Dredgeline kicks us off onto JunJia. He still have his Crescent Guard up and available, but he's going to back away. Wind becomes lightning, doesn't do anything. Just shows Fnatic that he wants out, and Razork is going to equalize the Dragon, even after that solo kill bot.
It's a good bluff from Fnatic. They basically are saying, hey, you don't have TP or that Realm Warp on HongQ because you use it on that bot lane play.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, we have Poby who spawned. He can teleport into the play, or he can even go for that Weaver's Wall in. So they just brute forced their way in. But Poby had already started walking top. He knew that he wasn't needed for the play, so they managed to hold on to the Summoner spell and that ultimate on the Taliyah, while also forcing CFO away from the objective.
Dagda next one in 130. It's Herald up in top. Upset's just trying to use the last of his mana bar to get that push. We'll look back at the replay in the meantime. And Driver, he gets the E, the Roar of the Slayer, and he just holds. What a Chad.
Yeah, getting that slow sets up perfectly. The damage is there, and that grasp of the Undying proc. Well, doing the dying part fairly well.
We talked a little bit in draft about problem killing Sion. Sion has 2 kills and is escalating very quickly. How concerned are you?
Quite, because he is the highest level in the game. Oscarinin has only just ticked over to level 11. And is going to start becoming pretty unkillable. You have some backline threat on this team and some combos with the Fly, Ezreal, Taliyah. But at some point, you're going to have to try and deal with what is going to be a fairly beefy squad. I think that's where Fnatic are going to struggle. And the fact that you aren't winning out on the sideline against the Sion with either the Taliyah or the Ksante is definitely an issue.
Coinbase gold grind, let's have a look. Because Oscar's actually within driving range, no pun intended. But again, Drive is just becoming more unkillable, and you'd expect it versus a Ksante, but even in the all-out Dagda, that's the problem, especially with no Iceborne yet, and a mystery bag of meat of whatever we call the items there with double chain vest.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? Because Ksante scales so well with resistances. Like, when it comes towards his Q, it's all based off his resistances and everything else. So it makes sense to go for more of them as you start to go through. The problem is, Driver's starting to go towards that unending despair, which is going to make him just unkillable when it comes towards side lane. He's going to heal so effectively through that every time you go for the trade. And then when you get to team fights, again, it takes so long to take him down as Doggo just able to step away.
Mikyx's been good with the angle of hooks, but sidestepping has been clutch. I mean, CFO showing why they're some insane players. Depth charge on JunJia, but he just launches in. Razork is by himself. Pop Blossom in the meantime, it's a 2-man. Tangle Barbs becomes 3, and Driver has them lined up, ducks in a row. Fnatic came in just to go. The flash away from Oscar is blown out of the water, and CFO made that look effortless.
Fnatic end up completely separated in the fight thanks to that Neeko ultimate, and JunJia just saying, I'm going into the pit, I can 1v1 Razork easily. Now you get the objective, you get the fight, you're getting towers. CFO might have just blown open this game.
That was so easy for them as well. I mean, Dagda, maybe the proof's in the pudding, proof's in the comp. So many good buttons to start a fight, and they just showed it right there. HongQ is going to try and take this top turret to boot as well, and with their Herald, should just open up mid for the Caitlyn or open up one of these side lanes. You said it before, we may as well say it again. This game definitely in CFO's driving seat.
Yeah, at this stage, it's very difficult, it feels like, for Fnatic to try and come back into it. The 3k gold lead already going across. Doggo has already got a 1.6k gold lead, so any sort of like Caitlyn in a trough does not exist, and even that's a bit overrated at this stage. So I think it's just going to be a follow-through, and you can see the team fighting here from CFO was perfect. Kaiwing steps forward, because Poby and Mikyx are trying to play back into this choke point, but as JunJia goes in, Kaiwing immediately goes on towards the back line, catches Poby, and also catches Mikyx on the back of it, and it sets up perfectly for HongQ to then support JunJia. Now they can turn their damage onto Poby, who ends up getting locked down, and it's easy for CFO to play the front to back when they've already caught key members of Fnatic.
Cut up the escape route, didn't even need to in the end. Everything just lined up, and Driver so far in this game has been quite the MVP with 2 solo kills, and now contribution of that ulti to those other 3. 1.3k gold lead for him. Also, side note, Doggo just chilling away, farming 1.6k with the global gold that he's also partaken in. And for CFO, next objective is 40 seconds away. It's that 3rd dragon. The Fnatic are going to have to think, well, is it really worth it to fight them at the moment? Are we at our item breakpoints? Because there's an item all along the board, but don't we need 2 of them, Dagda?
But the thing is, why do you try and play as Fnatic? They're going to make an attempt at this top side of the map, but HongQ has this Rift Tower in his back pocket, so just if Fnatic try and overextend underneath the tower, HongQ can pop that down and try and keep himself safe, but looks like doesn't want any part of it. So Fnatic just going to look for the top trade instead, as CFO, like, cool, we'll just handshake the mid tower instead.
Which is important as well when you have a Caitlyn. That control is crazy. You have a lead as well. The deep vision is going to pay off so much, and it's not just outer turret, because outer was taken with ease. Now HongQ is going to drive it right towards mid, and that's going to be gone. Inner turret at 18 minutes in the game is Upset, just has to back away. Poby's going to teleport. They're turning this into a play, but Mikyx's already dead. He treads on too early with the Weaver's Wall lining down mid. CFO already half out. HongQ is covered by Driver's Decimating Smash. As Razork now found on an angle by JunJia, and I feel like Fnatic are crumbling at the seams. A Decimating Smash. Poby with a good flick back, but Kaiwing will not perish. JunJia now, his angle has re-entered onto Upset, as it just goes from bad to worse for the European representatives as Doggo flash after the ace in the hole. Poby gets hit, and if there was another one, he would be dead. This is some Chad maneuvers coming out of the LCP reps.
I would have said it's a sigh of relief for Upset that he didn't go down, but it's more desperation at this stage. Everyone on Fnatic tries to jump on the mid wave, but CFO are just too strong. Fnatic have to get creative to bypass this beefy front line, but even when they do, it's still not enough.
When you see a Caitlyn ulting and then flashing past a Taliyah trying to get the kill, you know the game is in a problem state. It's a 5k gold lead, 2 dragons, and look at the replay again. And
I don't mind this early engage from Mikyx because it's, hey, let's just try and get something started. I will go down, but it buys the time we need to try and set people up. But the Weaver's Wall only separates HongQ. Upset can't really push forward because he's fearful of actually the damage that can come through. Razork, as you said, gets caught on the side, and Driver is just sitting in front of his team and preventing both the damage dealers for Fnatic getting through, and he's lost 5% of his HP,
almost
maybe? Yeah.
And then we don't get to see Doggo just deciding to send it forward, but that's how confident they are right now. Razork looking for a play through top side, more of the Slayer clears the wave. Driver, we're really going to test if this guy can die, but he's level 13 as Atakan spawns, and Dagda, it seems like Fnatic are going to throw the Hail Mary, to which CFO say, yep, we have a TP Ryze. If you start Atakan, you will lose the game quicker.
It's just Fnatic trying to see if they can get anything. If maybe CFO split up wrong as they try to come in to contest the objective and you can find something. But CFO, doing their due diligence, they're not going to overextend, they're going to be patient on this, and as Fnatic step away, it may actually be the window for CFO to start up the objective.
Except for Fnatic, they're going to have to send some ultis in. Now Upset sticks around, checks, waits for the wave top. Oscar's just covering that entry towards the tri-brush as well. Atakan has not started yet. Fnatic know at least that much, but Control Ward is making it difficult for them as Driver steps up, caring not. If Razork Vault Breaker's in, then what? You know, that's the problem. It's like, Upset, when do you get Serelda's Grudge? When are we there?
I don't even know if it matters, man.
Yeah, I mean...
It's the problem with Sion, right? You need something that is a good tank killer, and you just don't have it, and now Razork costs.
Good flank onto JunJia, flash away Driver, point blank. Doesn't find a knock-up though. Oscarinin walks it out. That's the one time that you're happy as a European fan that Driver didn't get too much, but Atakan still started off and CFO healthy enough to play this charade.
Yeah, Driver is still able to just control this area again. He just does not take damage. And for Fnatic, they're trying desperately to buy access to the river, but they're fighting on 2 fronts, both towards the tower and at Driver.
They got a flip, they got a seismic shove. Razork just flashed away, and that Vi wanted it engaged. Driver's the one that got flicked back again. Damage is null. Fnatic receiving the wave. Good dredge line onto HongQ, seismic shove, true shot barrage. It's good with an exhaust, but again, they need to find a kill. Razork decided to go in and die. Okay, send it again. Now onto Driver with a dredge line. They're finally killing the Sion. They've done so, but a flip up from JunJia, and he finds a new lease on life. Driver on the back line gets Fnatic nice and busy, but under the turret he cares not, as that's the best result for the 3rd seed of the LEC, but it still looks a bit too hard.
HongQ got the reset to teleport in, so healthy members on CFO and Fnatic blinking when it comes to some of their health bars and their mana bars. It'll be just a viewing party as CFO take the Atakan.
All right, let's throw the play a 3rd time into the midst. See what Fnatic can do. Oscarinin at full HP. Again, the Realm Warp comes out after the Atakan, but no one takes it. The main thing is CFO got the Atakan, and right now it is looking like an LCP day 1, no matter how you slice it.
Yeah, CFO looking very commanding here. Oscarinin just going to try and be an annoyance, but it's not going to matter. The reset's going to come through, and look at the items that were starting to come through after this fight, because it's absurd for CFO. But again, like Fnatic try desperately to get in here. HongQ is a good call to try and go for, but unfortunately they just don't have the damage to follow up. And here Razork thinks, if I can get in range, I can ult HongQ, and that would be enough to finish him off, but doesn't manage to get it off. And then it's 1 kill back as Upset and Poby are able to play away from Kaiwing's engage. But JunJia with the flash forward, they've already done enough damage, and there's no threat onto Doggo, the long-range Caitlyn doing work.
You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger has a quote saying, if it bleeds, we can kill it. Now, I don't know how that applies with Driver. They did actually kill it. But it took the whole team in the end. Optimism, I don't know. Right now, I feel like CFO, we have to really just call out how good their mechanics have been, but how structured their fighting has been around Driver. This is why we're excited for this team, because they destroyed Team Secret Wales in the same fashion in finals. They are showing at Worlds, they're doing the same thing. They're just so concentrated in their efforts. And it is so nice to see from the LCP.
Yeah, really good understanding of how to take fights, where to be positioned, how to enable picks like the Caitlyn for Doggo, and even doesn't quite have that rapid fire cannon complete. I thought he'd have it done at this stage, but still, setting up his trap line. How do you try and break this as Fnatic? So you can see they're not even going to bother. They're just going to let them have this third dragon and hope somewhere they find the damage. But I just don't see it coming again. Like 2 items only for Upset, 2 and a bit for Poby, trying to work towards that magic resist shred, but it just doesn't matter.
Poby, he knows they're there, obviously. EpicSkillshot goes onto a clone. And as he clears this wave, note that Baron's up in 20 seconds. Now, Dagda.
Hello.
15 seconds in that Baron. And there is a very deep pushed wave for Oscar, so he's kind of set up the cards right, as Fnatic are going to be able to get vision off this. But the question is, what is going to stop CFO from just pushing through and clearing that vision afterwards?
I mean, I think at this stage it's just a swing and a prayer, hope for the best.
Okay.
And you can kind of see this. The vision hasn't been set up by CFO, and you're hoping maybe they miss one and you can get like a TP for Oscarinin to kind of flank something along these lines.
Makes sense.
But unfortunately, like as you say, the vision is completely cleared out. You're not really in a position as Mikyx to try and go for these like cheating tempo plays to get vision down, because CFO have already established themselves on the top side. At least with that bot lane tower going down, Poby getting a bit of gold for himself. I don't know if it'll be enough to complete the Void Staff here. Maybe on reset. Or, actually, not the Void Staff. It's the
Crypto Bloom.
There you go. Yeah, Crypt Bloom now completed. But again, CFO are just playing this so well structurally. Not overextending, constantly playing off of where they need to be on the map, setting up their vision correctly, and they're just not letting Fnatic have a moment to find a pick.
Like this, I mean, Razork sets up control ward. Okay, there's JunJia, goes back from Tri-Brush, Vault Breaker, Ghost as well. Mikyx wants a hook onto HongQ. They say, hey, we found him. Let's get the mid lane. A seismic shove as well. Everyone launching in from Fnatic. Their pick with Upset setting the true shot barrage. A shutdown to Mikyx, unfortunate, but a shutdown nonetheless. Now Driver's isolated as Kaiwing wanted an angle, but he's not going to be given it. Driver ulties out, and Fnatic, there's still life yet.
Fnatic find the pick. Doggo wasn't there to be the catalyst to try and help out afterwards, and now CFO backing away. Baron potential on the cards for Fnatic. But I don't think they have enough. I think if they end up in that pit, they end up getting shredded by CFO. So just be a pick, back away, and hope for a bit more gold.
Was a bit committed there as Doggo sends his ulti out, but it's a good block. And I will say, if Fnatic find isolation, I think you talked about it before, Dagda, there is still a way. And we discounted this game just because of how CFO have been playing with the seismic shove around mid lane. The CFO disrespect with the dredge line coming in as well. There's danger. JunJia at half HP, no flip back, and Poby's getting good poke damage with the threaded volley. There's no dragon to move to for Fnatic, so it'll be sticking on midway for the time being, with them having control over Baron vision.
Yeah, it may have looked a bit funky from CFO, but it's a good call to keep this mid turret alive.
That is true.
Using those ultimates, you know the Fnatic don't think they're strong enough to actually go for the Baron, and they invested their own ultimates in that play. So for CFO, yes, it's a pick that went across, but it's not anything that's really game-changing for Fnatic right now.
You know what it is? When we get towards that soul in 2 minutes, I know it's only a Chemtech soul, but still, getting that extra tenacity when you have a lot of chain CC, a lot of pick potential. CFO's just extra stats that help them win this game and make the LCP undefeated on day number 1. It's only the start of Worlds, and it's good. It's getting me giddy, Dagged up with a Rune Prison as well, and with Mikyx maybe getting caught out. Speak of the devil, he can't get the Mega Blast Cone, and JunJia punishes for that. Razork bops him away. Good defense from Poby, but Driver's here. Ultimate melee range, and Doggo snaps him down with a headshot. True shot barrage after the fact. It's nice, but it's not going to cut it as Razork is in the dirt for 40 seconds, and Poby's poke, try as he might, he won't be able to mitigate CFO, starting the Baron.
JunJia just sat on that blast cone and refused to let Mikyx use it, so he ends up having to leap out, and Razork dies for his sins, and now CFO start up the Baron. This is a miracle if Fnatic hope that they can steal this.
Poby's going to come in, decimating smash block, but midway, Oscarinin gets bopped up anyway. The seismic shove onto Driver. It's getting more and more tanky to Bing. He's alive as Oscar flushes away. Meanwhile, Pop Blossom, mid-realm warp. Away goes Oscar. He manages to shield it out as HongQ gets shoved away. Poby's trying to stop the advance, but JunJia says no. The Crescent Guard and Driver going for another spin. CFO have brought the game back into their favor again.
There is nothing that Fnatic can do. They're getting chased down. They are putting everything they can into this Sion, and he will not fall. CFO
Razork, he flashy break Q onto Doggo, but there's a decimating smash behind him. Razork thinks wrong. All out comes in. Doggo's in a bit of trouble. Okay, over the wall, Oscar gets a shutdown. But let's not forget, this guy's become a bit squishy. And JunJia likes that 2v1. Pack your bags as JunJia puts another one in the basket.
And that's going to be Chemtech Soul for CFO on the back of it. And you thought it was difficult taking down CFO before this. It has just become so much harder. CFO making a statement here in game number 1 for themselves at the World's Championship. And honestly, it's kind of just been strong play coming through from JunJia. But Driver, again, getting a bunch of these solo kills in the early stages. And you can see here, look how much damage is being tossed his direction, and he's just slowly walking away from everything until they find that moment for the Realm Warp into the Pop Blossom, catching Oscarinin. And even afterwards here again, Driver understanding, look, we're going to get these plays because everyone is focused on towards the Xin Zhao. I'm going to squeeze past to focus the back line and make sure that there's no damage that Fnatic can put through onto any of my characters.
I think that was Razork saying sorry as he died as well. Maybe it was Poby at the end. But it's a 6k gold lead. It's now the onslaught. Doggo has 3 and a bit items with the last Whisper. He's sitting 6-1 and 6. It's been a fantastic debut. Exactly what we expected from CFO. JunJia now just moving into position as well. Inner turret under fire, and Fnatic struggling to clear the wave. It's Poby who's doing the most work right now, as Upset's just trying to deal with mid.
Exactly, HongQ pushing in this mid lane. We're going to make it very difficult. Oscarinin trying to play around that trap line, but...
He sat on one. Headshot. Oh my god!
That's the tank!
He's such a good boy, and JunJia is too. Everyone's getting praise on this CFO roster. There's a Realm Warp taking 1 minion into the base. Is going to enable an engage. Ace in the hole hits Upset. Pop Blossom hits 2 for the final moment. Poby about to drop the greatest of some time. Ain't today. It's HongQ as he runs in with the rest of his team with CFO looking to finish this one here.
They didn't even bring Driver along for that. He ended up bolting out of it. He didn't want to come along for the rides, but it's a victory lap. It feels like for CFO.
Not just for CFO, Dagda. It's a victory lap for the LCP on day 1. 2-0 is the kickoff. And CFO, we said they're the best of this region. They damn well put their money where their mouth is as they kick Fnatic in the jawline.
And they made it look easy. Driver getting kills against Poby, getting kills against Oscarinin. JunJia and HongQ looking fantastic in the 2v2. And then Doggo was just massive. Like the Caitlyn and the Neeko look so oppressive for Upset and Mikyx to try and play into.
Man, they kept trying to find picks, but every single time it's like, oh no, wait, there's a Sion in the way. Yeah, the Neeko just cloned. Oh, that's not a real engage. It's such a hard game for Fnatic to play, but to be fair, CFO are the ones that made it so damn hard. With how constantly they were grouped, how constantly they set up those fights.
And there's just nothing that Fnatic can do. CFO will take a well-earned bow here. Because my god, that was incredible stuff from the LCP first seed.
And from first seed, from second seed, LCP 2-0 desk. That's what I'm saying. That was my region once.
I mean, they've been surprising everyone all year. Honestly, amazing showing here for the first game of CFO here at Worlds. Yeah.
It's still a reason to stay.
Happy right now.
So happy.
Yeah.
Look at him! Look at him! That's the Sion Q.
He's emoting on us every time.
I think it's just it's a reality check.
Yeah.
You said that, yeah.
The LCP, you can't mess with them. You can't underestimate them. We already had very high expectations for CFO, but for them to just come in and dominate the way that they did, I mean, I like their draft approach. It was very simple, very straightforward. They executed well. And I mean, this team, there's just so much to be excited about.
Yeah, I mean, they came in and did a lot. Driver especially, because early on in that game, I saw that solo kill on Oscar, and I looked directly at you. It's like a sign to come.
Yeah.
Driver on Sion is a different kind of beast, because I just talked about the solo kill that he had versus Oscar, but the solo kill bot lane versus Poby was insane. He just had like a lethal when the Taliyah was like 100% HP.
E connects, and the man said, okay, calculation's done.
Yep.
Easy kill for me.
But that's my question here. We know that this guy is, I'm not going to call him a one-trick. He can play other champions, but he's pretty cracked on Sion, honestly. What was the idea?
Named after
he's named after Sion. How did they think they could handle this when you look at Fnatic's composition and how they wanted to play that?
Oh, I mean, I think they had a plan with getting a bit of comfort early on. They wanted dive. We know they're a bot-centered team. Like, one of their most successful drafts from, well, I would say the year is like this Vi, Kai'Sa, Ambessa traditionally. No Ambessa this time around, of course. But then once they saw the Sion, and like not being able to get your hands on the Kai'Sa, it felt like that they then kind of had two different ideas of what they wanted to do, and it became very difficult for them to execute. Still a strong showing from Poby overall on his debut. I will give him credit there, but CFO, the way they approached the fight, their discipline around the map, I mean, they are a strong team for a reason, and they demonstrated why against Fnatic.
Absolutely, and Raz, we know that they've been ramping up all year. We saw that at First 10. First 10 felt like a surprise. MSI felt like the confirmation. Like they feel like an even stronger team that they were at MSI.
It's just a reality now, and especially with Team Secret Wells winning in the game prior, like, no, the LCP is a strong region that you must respect. And so I was very shocked with it. I will say for the HyperX Reflex replay, it was Kaiwing on his Neeko ulti that was a big shock to me, because like, it was just like, yes, they're great within the lane. They're dominating there, but then also the team fight there, being able to push out Razork out of the pit and then see and separate the rest of the team with an amazing Neeko ultimate. They're a great team fighting team. The setup is beautiful. They're a team to watch out for.
We heard from Trimby earlier say that the way in which Team Secret Wells set up the fights was obviously very good, and CFO is a cut above them. And again, I think that we saw that the way they approach their team fights is clinical, well executed. And when you also factor in the kind of coordination issues that Fnatic are demonstrating, it was just easy pickings for CFO.
And it's just a little bit of swagger as well. Like, of course, Driver coming in with the Sion Q emote afterwards. Doggo, anytime you miss an ability on him, he's just spamming emotes. Like, this is a team that has fun on stage. It's day one, game one, and they're already just chilling.
I mean, that's the thing. They show up strong here. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm not worried yet.
Yeah.
As an LEC fan, but Vidius, you talked about discipline, cohesion. Back to the drawing board for Fnatic. What are the first things you're looking at?
That Vi damage right there. You see that Vi damage? Razork, we need back in action. I think this draft I didn't love. I like the idea of Taliyah Vi, short, but I think like, if they want to play dive, I think they should stick to dive. If they want to play team fight, I think they should stick to team fight. And I feel like that Fnatic need to lower the barrier to entry of their composition, take a page out of CFO's book, and kind of simplify their approach. Because right now, they are definitely not one of the favorites in this tournament. They